Hey guys, I'm Ashley. If it's our first time meeting, hey, nice to meet you. I'm here at Joyful Noise Learning, and I love to find the joy among the noise in life and in homeschooling. I love to talk about Charlotte Mason inspired homeschool, biblically based curriculum, and homeschooling on a budget, affordable homeschool stuff. So today I want to talk about my homeschool budget and the curriculum I want to pick for next year. This isn't my official announcement video, I guess, but you're probably just going to see what I'm going to pick next year. But I was in the middle of planning for our curriculum, and I wanted to figure out how much I was spending and to see how much I needed to save up for this summer so I can purchase everything that I need right now. I figured this might be helpful to somebody else. And sometimes I'm this organized, and in the past I've been this organized, but it's been a while since I've made this spreadsheet. Because in the past, sometimes I've just made a list and I just made sure I purchased it as I went and marked it off if I got it, and just kind of didn't know which way it was up or down. But this year I was like, okay, I need to make a list, keep track of how much everything is and who I'm going to get it for. Because all these things were just up in my head. Like, I was getting excited, I was making notes, watching videos, as I'm sure you are. So maybe if you're planning right now and you're watching videos for what you're picking for next year, maybe you need to start keeping track what you're looking at and how much everything is going to cost you. I want you to join me, and I'm going to show you my system for doing this year. Okay, it's like 80 degrees out right now. It's the first time it's been this warm since through the winter. So you're probably gonna hear my kids playing on the slip and slide outside right over there. Just don't mind them. They're just trying to have some fun. So let's look at the spreadsheet that I made. Okay, we have titled this, I just made this in Google Docs. Isn't that neat? We have titled this Curriculum Choices 2021-2022. So at the top, we're starting with subject. And then I wanted to keep track of who is it for, so I put the grade there to remember like what I need for each grade. And then this is the section where we write down what the curriculum is, and then we put how much it's going to cost. And so some of these things I've already purchased, or I will be able to get for free, or it's like downloadable, it's a free download, things like that. So I make my notes here. Here's how we did this. First, I chose all the subjects that I knew I was going to need. So here's an example of the subjects I planned to get. So I need something for Bible, I need something for history, language arts, and so I broke language arts up a little bit. Some curriculums you'll get and it'll have all this together, but maybe you want to try something different for different children. So this is the reason I made this, because sometimes you want to pick things that go all together for everybody, but other times you might want to pick things that are different for each kid. So for example, language arts, I broke up with phonics, literature and writing, spelling, and grammar, because I had something I wanted to do that's a little bit different, that is basically a supplement to what I'll be doing with the main language arts curriculum. Then we have science and or nature, and then art is another important subject for us. Spanish is an important subject, handwriting, math, and social skills this year. We're gonna add social skills, so I'm pretty excited about that. Then we go through, and I just made quick notes for each child. I put my 5th grader at the top. Some of them are for all of them that they'll do all together. Some of them are for them individually. Then we go through, and as I'm researching, I pop them in. I even added links. So like this guy, I was like, okay, I'm looking at doing this one. And like I said, some of this is not necessarily everything I've decided on. These are just the options that I wanted to keep track of. Links here that you can add. You basically highlight it and then add a link. If you don't know how to add a link on a spreadsheet, it's this button right here. So this button inserts a link. So you highlight, I'll show you with exploded code. So here's a link that I already have placed. So I can click on that, and then it will take me to the page that I need to purchase the product there. So let's say I wanted to do explode the code. So I'm gonna do explode the code. And then I've already purchased it, but let's say I needed to get a different explode the code. Then I grab the link at the top, we copy that, and then we go back over here and we highlight, and then we go to the insert link, and then I paste, right click, paste, and boom, I've got a link. So now I have the link connected with all the things I need to purchase. So Some of these I have not added links for yet, but like this one I've got a link for too. Pretty exciting. And then we figure out the cost. So then as you're researching, you plug in the cost there to see how much it would cost. And then at the very bottom, you can put a total bar right there and then add all those columns up. You add this whole column together. So I'm not gonna show you exactly how much I'm spending this year, but you just saw a little bit of a glimpse of how I use the spreadsheet. If you want a sample of the spreadsheet or a template, then let me know in the comments below. I would be happy to share this with you if you want to use it this year to help you organize. Because I know some people like to do just pencil and paper and you write it down in a notebook or something, but I like having it on a spreadsheet because then it does all the math for me here. And I can insert the links too. So then when I do go to purchase, I can just go boom, boom, boom down the line and click on the links and then purchase it really easily. If I'm still doing research on it, then I have the link right there ready to go. So also I created another sheet that goes along with it. This is all my main things. And then with some of these curriculum, there are just books that need to go along with it. So I just created a separate spreadsheet here. So I wrote down all the books that I would need to purchase throughout the year, and then found links for those. I remember putting them in, but they're not there. And then how much they cost. And then they're just hanging out over here on this spreadsheet. Thanks so much for joining me today, guys. That was a short and sweet video explaining how I do my preparation and looking for curriculum. So what I like to do is look for just all the possibilities. So first I just go through possibilities and think, okay, I would love it if my kids did this book for handwriting, and like just kind of like if money wasn't an option or if time wasn't an option, what would I do? So I just compile all of that on that spreadsheet there, or in a list somewhere, and I look at, okay, what do I want to do with my kids? And then once I calculate the costs and I calculate how much time and energy we're gonna have for everything, then I start weeding down and going down to the nitty-gritty of what do we absolutely have to do. And then I'll start prioritizing the list. One of the ways that I prioritize is I make sure I'm following my vision for homeschooling. So what is my overall goal for my kids in homeschooling, like throughout their whole childhood and schooling years? I try to remember what my overall goal is for that. I also try to remember what is my overall goal for them in this season. So some of my kids need to really, really hone in on phonics and learning how to read. Others need some help in spelling or handwriting. And still, and then things that maybe I want some kids to fine tune their skills in art. And I still have goals like just for specific subjects too. Because really when you look at it all and you look at everything, it can get pretty overwhelming. And some of that is, okay, maybe you don't have enough money and you're like, I just don't have enough money to do it all right now. And maybe some of it is you want to do it all, but you have limitations and it's gonna be hard. And I gotta say that I struggle with committing to a curriculum, because what if it doesn't work out? What if it's a total failure of a year? What if something better comes along? Like that is always the thoughts I have in the back of my head. What if something better comes along? And to be honest, there might be something better that comes along. I'm gonna share in my next video a little bit more about that, but I did wanna share, sometimes our ideas and our ideals of what we think a year is gonna look like can kind of get in the way of how things really look. So you want to be as realistic as possible with your time and your money and how much you really can afford to do this year, whether that be with how much you're spending or with the time and energy you're putting into school and what you're picking. Those are definitely things you need to consider too as you're researching and thinking about what curriculum you want this year. And then another thing that so many people, my friends, other homeschool moms have reminded me is you don't have to do it all in one year. You don't have to do it all at one time. You can do, a little Spanish here, a little Spanish there. You can do a little science here, a little science there, and take a few weeks off and just focus on art. I have one friend taking a few weeks off and just focusing on Spanish. We just have to remember that our kids' education is over an entire 12 years, let alone their entire life. Like their education doesn't stop when they turn 18. Their education doesn't start and stop with this next year. Their entire education is gonna be over several years and building upon each year as you go. So when I was younger and overwhelmed with picking what to pick, I really thought I had to just squeeze it all in. And now, as I've done this for about 8 years now, I'm realizing you don't have to squeeze it all in now. If you don't get to Galileo this year, that's fine. You can do Galileo in 2 years. If you don't get to learning about World War II this year, that's fine. You'll get to World War II later. They've got plenty of time. The one thing I do want to focus on this year is continuing to build relationship with my kids. To be honest, I have struggled in that area this year because I've been so focused on getting the things done, checking off the boxes, making sure we have just the right curriculums. And I really want to pull back, and not pull back on school. We're still going to do school, but I want my focus to change now, and my focus to stay just on my kids and who we are and how we're relating, and make sure, you know, I slow down a little bit, stop and smile at them, ask them how they're doing, and be okay with talking about things that aren't related to the school subjects and things like, you know what I mean? So, okay, this went off a little bit. It's not just about budgeting, I guess, but it is about your vision and focusing on what matters most for you and your family this year. Hopefully that helps a little bit. If you would like a copy of a template of this spreadsheet that I made, I'd be happy to send you one. Just leave me a comment and maybe I'll put a link in the description below to email that to you. If you have any questions, please let me know. And we've got my curriculum pick videos coming very soon. I haven't been able to film them yet, but they're coming. It's coming, I promise. Thanks for being here with me. I hope you can go find his joy among the noise. You rock at homeschooling. I will see you next time.